last year is out there. Graham Blanks as well, really consistent recently, a 12:49 in Oslo for the American, and then a 12:57 in Paris a couple of weeks back. And Barhanu Bailu of Bahrain is in there too, 7th in the World Championships last year, but a 12:47 PB. One of the favourites here has to be Thierry Ndikumwenayo in this 5,000 metres. The Spanish Burundian athlete was bronze medalist in the European Championships over 10,000 metres 2 years ago, but he's the reigning European cross-country champion, winning gold in Portugal last December. And it's his first track race of the year, but he was 8th in the world cross-country in Tallahassee back in January. You were there, Hannah. It was a warm day, and he ran supremely to get up there in the top 10, and that strength may be a major factor here tonight. He is more of a 10,000 metre specialist than 5,000, so I wonder whether or not Ndikumwenayo and Nabalu might be those two who will push it along when the pacemakers have dropped out. We're looking for about 61.5 per lap. We're looking for 2,000 in 5:08, 3,742. And these are promising signs, Hannah. It's single file early on, it's quick.
And Kai Robinson, who broke Craig Mottram's long-standing Australian record in Oslo, looks really up for it here. In the post-race interviews, he was just so disappointed. He was down, I think he was even about 6th or 7th or so in that race, and he almost didn't care that he'd broken the Australian record. He wanted to be competitive in that field at Diamond League, so he's committed early here. And I think you're right about that 10K strength for Ndikumwenayo and Nabalu, and you've got to look at Agnes and Getich and that wonderful run in the 3,000. To know that strength can work over the shorter distances.
Well, Kameli in 4th place looks up for this.
3rd and final attempt for Mondo Duplantis. What would be a new outdoor world lead. He's already broken his meeting record. It's been brilliant to see Mondo here in front of his new home crowd. He's moved here to Monaco, decided to reside here. And I think it's been important for him to compete today. He's increased his own meeting record. I think nearly every event we've had here this evening in Monaco has been a meeting record, and great to add the men's pole vault to that. Good height here today in Monaco for Duplantis, but just maybe a little bit scrappy.
He's made a rod for his own back, though, you know, these last 3 or 4 years by being a bit of a machine and just churning out world records and producing special moments again and again. And we probably unfairly expect him to do it every single time he grabs hold of that vaulting pole. Tonight, a victory for him very comfortably with that 6:07. It's a meeting record, but nothing more on this occasion. He will march on to the European Championships in Birmingham, UK.
Great to see Duplantis, Thierry, Marshall, a top 3 in that men's pole vault.
Back to this 5,000 metres then, and that's, I think that's Graham Blanks, is it, out in front? The 2:48 on the clock. No, it's not Blanks, excuse me. 2:33 the first kilometre, the opening 400 was 61.4, so they've kept it very honest. 2:33.9 is Arthur Gervais of France, who is one of the pacemakers. I thought it was Blanks, but he's more stocky than Blanks. Same with Emmanuel of Eritrea is the other pacemaker too. He's only 19 years old, and he is in 2nd place. The rest of them moving along really nicely at the moment. Kimeli still in 4th place. It'll be down to him and Kai Robinson of Australia, who's in 3rd, to push this along when the pacemakers drop out. But let's hope they do keep going to 2,000, maybe even 3,000. 7:42 at 3,000 is the target time. That is a pretty tough target.
It is, and Isaac Kameli, what a brilliant year last year with that silver at the World Championships. And I think it kind of built, it was similar to Jimmy Gressier. You look at Kameli and you kind of go, you're a cross-country guy. You're a prolific medalist at European level over cross-country. And 2025 for him, as it was for Gressier, was the year that he managed to convert that to a track medal. And started, I think it was a wonderful win in Lausanne for Kameli in the pouring rain at the Diamond League. So he's got the accolades to be exactly where he is, the Belgian athlete, and the other athletes will be very aware of him.
Kai Robinson with that slightly strange arm carriage in 3rd place, giving a good account of himself at the moment in the green. 3rd from left, he's really carries those arms right up close to his chest, doesn't he? There's not a lot of arm movement. Kimeli, Isaac Kimeli, 8th in the Olympics in 24, and then last year, at the age of 31, elevating himself to a silver medal in the World Championships in Tokyo. The extreme heat and humidity there are certainly playing a factor in the race won by Cole Hocker, a slow, meandering race by today's standards, won in 12:58 by Hocker from Kimeli, with Jimmy Gressier, who'd got the 10,000 metre gold in his legs, taking the bronze medal. No Jimmy Gressier here tonight, but this is building nicely, and if they can stay on schedule here as they come towards 2,000, remember we're looking for about 5:08 at 2,000, then we could see a sub-13 here. It's building well.
And there's Gervais just stepping aside. He's given it absolutely everything here, the Frenchman. And Emmanuel, the Eritrean, doing a really good job of keeping the pace going. There you go, 5:08, exactly what you asked for, Tim. A 2:34 second kilometre.
Yeah, just about perfect. And now the onus, the burden is on the 19-year-old Eritrean, Simon Emmanuel. His personal best is 12:59. That was in Paris just 2 weeks ago. He's in fabulous shape, but he's down as a pacemaker tonight. Well, he's capable of competing with these fellas. Kimeli there, just being passed by Lebalu, who we did expect to start showing his cards mid-race. Lebalu, remember, really strong, the 27-year-old Swiss. He is the man who took gold in Rome 2 years ago at the European Championships. That win at the Austrian Championships was a 13:12 performance. He had to run 13:12 because the second place was 13:13. He was only 13th though in Oslo. What, 3 weeks back? Three or 4 weeks back in Oslo? And he's the one going here with the pacemaker Emmanuel and forging himself a bit of a gap. Now he can take this opportunity to push on when Emmanuel drops out and kick on and maybe get a gap in this middle kilometre.
Cornelius Kemboi, I think, leading the chase pack here, but Lebalu, that was a really brave move a lap ago when he spotted that the pacemaker was just gapping the field. They were losing the advantage of the pacemaker. For Lebalu just to say, no, I'm going to close that, and he closed that fast. So it's Krop now, Jacob Krop, leading the chase pack. And the rest of them now, they've got to find that energy. They've got to increase their pace to get on terms with Lebalu. He can now just relax, stare at the back of the pacemaker, tick off the laps and ask questions of the rest of the field.
Well, they're keeping it honest. That was a 62.1. The pack are going to have to run a 61 flat to get close to these fellows, or at least gradually pull them in. All the big names are in there, though. Kemboi, Krop, Bailu, he's at Kimeli. Graham Blanks in 7th place at the moment there in the yellow and blue. Or was it 8th place now, Blanks? Dagino of France is there. Mehari of Ethiopia. Abdi Hamid Noor is there as well. And they have closed up to the leading pair, although he's done a good job here. Emmanuel is keeping it really honest. We're looking for 3,000 in around 7:42. Anything around 7:45 would be absolutely fine. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in this pack, easing away, with Kyrie Robinson back in 10th place, just beginning to struggle a little bit behind Bejiga. Krop there looking up at the big board, thinking on his feet, the Kenyan. He's in, what, 3rd place at the moment. Lebalu in 2nd. And now the pacemaker's job is done. And that time at 3,000, 7:43.5. What a good job the pacemakers did. They set it up wonderfully. This is turning into a great competitive affair. 9 men away, all looking strong. And Lebalu, as I said, I think will want to turn the screw from a long way out. Former soccer player, left South Sudan, took refuge in Kenya at the age of 8. Now a proud Swiss citizen, runs for the Brühl Light Athletic Club. And the European champion 10,000 metres, knows there's some big kickers behind him. He's got to keep the pressure on here.
And Bailu in 4th place, the Bahrainian athlete. He's had a really good season. He's judged many of his races fantastically well, including a 2nd in Oslo. And I'm looking at this field here. Lebalu's made the choice. He wants to try and make it hard. Krop, again, an athlete who's very good over the longer distances, keeping it moving. But the likes of Bailu, of Graham Blanks, of even Biniam Mehari, having very quiet races, but totally, up there in terms of, they're only a few metres off the lead. I don't know. I think they're having quite calm races there, those guys.
Well, that last lap was a 62.42. It has slowed a little bit. The last 3 laps, the first 5 laps were all 61s. The last 3 laps have gone 62.1, 62.3, 62.4. It's slowing, and there's a little bit of a reluctance here to be the athlete to commit. I thought Lebalu would take it on, but Krop went to the front. Lebalu in white now finds Kemboi there up in front of him. Cornelius Kemboi, who was only 10th in Oslo, although it was a season's best at 12:56. He was 8th in Paris in 12:58, close to his personal best. Second in the Kenyan Championships recently, Cornelius Kemboi. Down at the track and just letting this 4th kilometre drift by. It certainly will be by far the slowest of the race. They've got 3 laps to go. That one at 64.9. Look at that, almost at 65. They've all had a bit of a breather there. They're building up for that explosion over the last couple of laps.
We are in Monaco, but they love to support the French athletes here. And Etienne Dagenot is having a great run in 6th place. He's the first out of the blue kits. Back there, he's in the Asics kit, just swinging wide. If you remember, he ran very aggressively in Paris. He was out there on his own. He went with the pacemakers when no one else did, and he actually failed to finish Dagenot a couple of weeks ago. So he's kept in the pack here. He's got a lot of company at a very decent pace as they go through the 4th kilometre in 2:39. But the crowd are going to get behind Dagenot.
I'll tell you what, Blanks here in 5th place, moving up nicely in the yellow and blue. He's a big kicker. He's a 7:29 performer at 3,000 and looking really strong. He's got them in his sights and nobody's really tested them in these last 2 or 3 laps. Kemboi continues to lead, but it was almost 65 that last lap with 3 laps to go. Here they come through, 800 metres to run. And they've gone through in about 10:54. That was a 63.6. It hasn't really picked up. This is still a very, very open race.
And that lull in the 4th kilometre, it's so common. It's just what has to happen here. These guys are on their limit. They're trying to push as hard as they can. The red lights that were set at 12:50, they're sort of 20 or 30 metres ahead of them. And you do just have to gather mentally and physically. And it's almost a relief when you see 2 laps to go, and the athletes are jostling for position here. You can see Mahari just muscling his way past Blanks. They'll desperately be trying to run the shortest line and give themselves an opportunity on this last lap.
Well, Blanks moving up into 3rd place. He's run a really smart race here. Dagenot moves through as well, and he moves around the outside into an attacking position. Kemboi continues to lead. Mahari in 2nd is boxed. Dagenot leads. The crowd loving this one. They're roaring him on. Side by side now, 4 abreast with just over a lap to run. Anybody's raced this one. They've really loitered this last mile. They go through there in about 11:57, a 63 again there. These last 2K have been very, very slow indeed. And that's why we've got 7 men now with 3:50 to go. Down into the back straight now. Krop it was who led at the bell. Down the back straight, Lubalu in the white, being challenged down the outside by Bailu. Blanks there in 4th place, the others lacking speed now. Mahari and Dagenot and Kemboi struggling with 200 metres to run as the white vest of Dominic Lokinyomo Lubalu hits the front now. Blanks right behind him, a metre behind. Is he biding his time or is he flat out here? Who's got a gear to go? Blanks in 2nd, Krupp coming around the outside, and then he kicks away. This has all the hallmarks of a tactical race at this level, and Blanks keeping the best of the Africans tonight at home. Is he going to get there? He's out deep to the line. Oh, it's tough. It's cruel. 12:52 though is fabulously quick. Blanks there, just 3 or 4 seconds outside his lifetime best. Indeed, outside his season's best. He ran so well in Oslo a month or so back when he finished in 6th in 12:49. What a lovely race that was. It's a different era, isn't it? They come off the final bend at 12:52 tempo and they kick for home, visibly kick for home. Fabulous running. So many of those athletes building over that final mile with laps of 63 and 64 and almost 65. And then the final circuit was superbly quick. 54.9 that last 400. Blanks just missing out.
I think you look at 4 men coming into the home straight together, Bailu, Blanks, Lubalu, and you felt that it was going to be history repeating itself for the Americans. Grant Fisher winning in Paris. Was it going to be Graham Blanks tonight? And I think Blanks will look back on this and go, I got it just wrong. You know, Lubalu, he almost put the blinkers on and went, how quick can I hammer this last 150? He saved something here for the last 20 metres. And the Swiss commentators are the other end of our bench, and they are absolutely delighted for this guy. He's carved out a career sort of steadily and calmly, waiting for that nationality change to be able to compete for Switzerland. And they're very, very proud of him, and they should be.
There it is, Lubalu wins, 12:52, a season's best for the Swiss over Blanks for the USA and Bailu of Bahrain. Quick times there, look at those times.